Before we start this video, I just want to say that my allergies are killing me, so please forgive me if my voice sounds really bad or like you hear some noises. That's probably my nose going fucking crazy, so please forgive me. But I just want to sit here and say, for my DC fans, I used to pray for times like this, for rhymes like this, man. And I also want to say that y'all also gotta forgive me. I might be shedding a few tears throughout this video. But man, I just gotta talk about this Superman. This Superman, bruh. If you had asked me back in the day, around Guardians 2, would James Gunn be able to make a Superman movie that is hopeful, optimistic, but most importantly, sincere? I would have probably looked at you like you're fucking crazy. The guy who did Guardians of the Galaxy? No way. No way would he be able to do it. No way. No way he would be able to do it. Well, man, all my doubts, all the little doubts I had in my head just watching that first trailer and whatnot has been put to fucking rest, all right? And the only thing I watched was the teaser trailer because I was like, I'm excited for this movie. I'm coming with the whole fit and everything when I go see this movie. So I knew nothing of what was gonna happen in this movie. But as I watched this movie, it became more and more clear to me. And as I teared up in the movie theater multiple times watching this Superman movie, it very came to me that DC is back, baby. James Gunn gets Superman to the fullest extent. And I couldn't be more happier and more proud of him for taking over the DC and making this universe. And I told people when Guardians 3 happened, I was like, believe in James Gunn. He's gonna deliver something great. And so said that's what the fuck he did. Because DC Studios Superman, no words can describe this movie and how it made me feel. The only thing I can say about this film is that it is so beautiful, so precious, that it gives me newfound hope, not only for the DC movie division, but just in life in general. That is an extraordinary feat. And to see that a Superman movie can bring that out of me fills me with so much hope for the DC studio brand. This movie is fucking beautiful. So beautiful. And it's gonna be hard for me to talk about this video, so maybe on the first half I'll try to just go over my general thoughts, but then on the second half I'll spoil every fucking thing about this movie. But man, the first thing I love about this movie and why I ultimately praising this movie to the fucking elder gods is that I love that this movie is unapologetically a comic book film. It is unapologetically a comic book film. I was blown away because again, I only watched the teaser trailer, but I was so blown away by how many moments this movie just unapologetically was not holding your hands. It's either you got the material or you didn't. Like James Gunn, I felt like was like speaking to the audience members and saying, you guys claim that you all are comic book fans. So let's really put that to the motherfucking test. We're gonna storm the beach of Normandy. Some of you motherfuckers are not gonna make it, and I'm not giving you any directions. You just gotta storm the beach and figure it the fuck out. And what I love about that is that the movie does not explain itself all too well. That the movie just sticks you right in the middle of of this world, this bigger, this larger than life world that doesn't even apply to our real world, and just sticks you in the middle of it, and it's just like, have fun, figure it the fuck out. Like, there are so many moments in this film where regular humans, are just seeing fucking like kaiju battles and shit happening in the film, and they're just kind of like, some of them are running and getting the fuck out of the way, and then other people are just sitting there like, well, this is just a normal Tuesday, let's go back to the meeting. It's just like so bombastically weird, and it's so comic booky. We're getting interdimensional imps fucking coming in and starting fights, and Superman's just chilling and just like relaxing his shit while talking to Lois. It is just bombastically, and the movie never explains itself. And it almost reminded me, watching this film reminded me of just like two things. It reminded me of just going straight into watching like the Justice League cartoon, where it's just like, the world already exists, heroes already exist, people know about heroes and shit, and we're just smack in the middle of the story. But it also reminded me of the Avengers, of how epic and grand the world feels. And I haven't felt that feeling in such a long time. So for this movie to just bring that out was so beautiful. It made me even curious of, ooh, what's like the Batman of this universe? Like, how does he deal with this larger than life world? Like, I was so curious and enthralled by this world that James Gunn's created, because it felt straight out of the fucking 90s cartoon. And that's a bold move for James Gunn to basically just like, fuck the casuals, I'm making a movie for hardcore comic book fans. And I think that's why we see, like, while a lot of us are enjoying the movie, there are a lot of people who, especially critics, who are generally like, don't know what to make of the film, because the film is not holding your hand at all. It's either you get it or you don't. There's a text scroll at the beginning of the film that sets up kind of stuff, but other than that, the movie doesn't explain itself at all. And it was so good to just finally walk into a comic book film where I didn't have to constantly slow down and wait for everybody, the general audience, to catch up. And again, if it was back in the day, I probably would have been way more harder on this. I would be way more like, you can't do this shit, James Gunn. Like, this is supposed to be for casual. But we live in a day and age where comic book movies are 10,000 and a dozen. Let's do something different. And I really appreciate that this movie just was like super comic booky and not holding your hand, to the point where sometimes this movie felt like a Silver Age comic book come to life. Like, there's some wacky moments that's just like, what the fuck are we doing? And I just praise the movie for that. But of course, I can't talk about this movie without talking about the cast. The cast is so good. But of course, I gotta talk about the main one. To me, the standout star is David Cornsweet as Superman. David Cornsweet, my God. Again, I do want to apologize if I start tearing up in this video, because Jesus Christ, this is my Superman, bruh. This is the Superman I've been waiting for since Man of Steel. I've been waiting for this type of Superman for so long. And again, I don't want to take any credit from David Cornsweet. You know, I really was hoping we would have got to see that with Henry Cavill, but that's in the past. We're moving on. David Cornsweet, though, he is Superman. From his mannerisms, the way how he talks. My God, there's a scene in this film. Again, I'm not trying to spoil anything yet, but there's a scene in this film where Superman generally gets upset, multiple scenes, gets upset and gets frustrated and gets sad that he's unable, there's some people he's unable to save. And to me, that fucking like touched my soul so much. There's multiple scenes where he just gets angry and upset just because he couldn't save a person, or he feels like this could have been a better way to handle the situation. I fucking love that. That's something I've been waiting to see from Superman from so long. And my God, just the mannerisms and the way how he talks. And I just love how this Superman feels like a firefighter. Like, he just wants to genuinely do good. You can always tell every time he talks, there's nothing but general innocence. There's a sense of sincerity. That's the word I would use, sincerity, every time he would talk. And I just could not believe what I was watching on screen with this cat. I was like, motherfucker. I'm like, bro, how are we doing this in 2025 to get to see Superman just be honest and sincere and so hopeful throughout the whole film, bruh. And even when the moments he loses his faith, or, you know, he gets knocked down and having an identity crisis, you get this most intimate scenes with his mom and pa. And it's so intimate because the whole movie is so bombastic, so wild, so crazy. But when you finally get to see him interact with his parents, Ma and Pa Kent, it is so earnest and so intimate that I couldn't help but just tear up. Again, it's just so many moments, man. And just, again, even when he gives speeches, like, bro, it's like listening to fucking Superman from the fucking 90s cartoon all the way up to now. It just sounds so heroic in every sense of the imagination. Like, my God, I've been waiting years for this shit, and it delivered and elevates. There's this scene, again, not to be spoily, but there's a scene, and you see it in the trailer, in the teaser trailer, not the war that's going on right now, where this kid raises the flag of Superman, and the whole people are chanting his fucking name, and he gets right back into the action. And I'm like, motherfucker. And he inspires the other heroes to stand up and fight for something bigger than themselves. Oh my goodness. I'm sitting there like, bro, this motherfucker, like, I need to see David Corswell fucking Superman again. Like, I never thought I would be able to say that in a long time, but it's so great to finally have a Superman that is honest and is truthful and hopeful. And again, this is only a year 3 Superman, so there's moments where he gets his ass handed to him. There's moments where he doesn't have everything figured out, but he's determined to still do the right thing. Again, I think the tagline again from the Richard Donner Superman is that you won't believe a man can fly. But in this movie, I feel like the tagline should be, you wouldn't believe that a man could be so good. So good. And I'm here like, bro, this movie got me tearing up. Just hearing him talk. It's like, this movie is so perfect, man. I was like, fuck, this is such a good shit. And then again, like, and it's not only just him that's great. Nicholas Hoult as fucking Lex Luthor. Holy shit. This Lex Luthor, I swear to God, felt like Silver Age Lex Luthor, where his plan is the most ridiculous plan ever, but you could generally tell his hatred for Superman is so powerful. He's willing to do whatever it takes just to hate on Superman. And if you thought Kendrick Lamar was a hater, if you thought Kendrick had hatred for a motherfucker, no, motherfucker. This man does not compare to Lex Luthor. This man, Lex Luthor, out this whole movie is just scheming and doing sly shit. It is so fucking good. But the way his mannerism and how he conveys himself is straight up Lex Luthor from the comic. Straight up, just 90s cartoon, fucking animated, fucking Justice League, fucking the comic. Straight up that energy and the smirks and the tissing of the teeth every time he has to mention Superman angers him, frustrates him. Oh my goodness. And I gotta say, there is one scene that had me, this was the moment. It's a subtle scene, but I was like, the moment I said to myself, this is my Superman and this is my Lex Luthor, is when Superman folds his arms and gives Lex Luthor this look of disappointment, like, Lex, you can be so much better. You can do so much more. But I gotta take you in, Lex. And he just gives that look of just so disappointed in Lex because he knows Lex is better than this. And Lex gives him this look of pure anger and rage to the point where he starts crying. Was so fucking powerful. I was like, bro, like, what is this? I can't believe I lived long enough to see this be portrayed. It's like, fuck. It's like ripped straight from the comics. Like, to know that Lex Luthor is envious of Superman. This is the shit I've been waiting for. And oh my goodness, this movie is just a fucking banger. I'm like, this is a banger. And not only that, man, but the rest of the cast is so good, man. Everyone's bringing their heart into this shit, man. Like Rachel Brosnahan, fucking Lois Lane, she's so good. She's so good. You know, I love my Lois from fucking Superman and Lois. That's also my Lois. I love her. I love that Lois. But man, this Lois was so fucking good because she's a reporter first, girlfriend second, right? And I even like how this movie kind of teases at the beginning, teases that, because like there's one scene and you see it in the trailer, like when she is just like interviewing Clark / Superman, and she is going toot for tat, lip for lip, boxing this motherfucker down with questions, and I'm like, that's fucking Lois Lane right there. Like, I couldn't help but smile at her performance because I was like, this is so good. Like, this is some shit Lois would say, and I feel like she compliments Clark so well because Clark is constantly has this simplistic mindset of like, if there's something wrong or if people needs my help, I'm gonna help them. But he don't think about the ramifications. And I was just sitting to myself while I was watching her performance, like motherfucker, like this Lois is so great because she balances out. She helps him realize this and keeps him like in a realistic mindset. Like, she tethers him down to reality a lot, and I love that. And I also said to myself, like, motherfucker, can we get like a fucking, I can't wait to see like Batman in this universe. Like, I pray after watching this movie, I pray fucking Robert Pattinson, it would be Robert Pattinson Batman, and just be like, okay, here's another universe where it's just like the Batman's universe, and here's the DCU Batman, and it's just Robert Pattinson, but he just has kids and shit. Whatever. I would love to see that shit happen. I know they're probably not gonna do that, but whatever. But I was just wondering, like, how would Lois and Batman interact? Because they're both kind of like realistic people. They think realistically. So I was just like, man, I would love to see that. But I just love this Lois. This Lois was so good, man. So good. But even less, the Justice Gang is another great supporting cast. fucking Nathan Fillion as fucking Guy Gardner's fucking Green Lantern is so good. It's so refreshing to finally see Green Lantern. Oh my god, it's so beautiful to finally see a Green Lantern. Oh my god, bro, it's so good. And I know their mythos of the Green Lantern Corps is so wild, it's so crazy. I can't wait to explore more of that. But he was so good. But nothing beats my black brother, Eddie Gattekin, as Mr. Terrific. Mr. fucking Terrific is the fucking GOAT. He is the best supporting hero character in this film. He is the fucking Chad. I love how he's just nonchalant about everything. He just don't give a fuck. Motherfuckers, people just be talking to him about their feelings and shit, or trying to tell him like things he already knows, and he just like, or imply things, and he's just like, motherfucker, I'm Mr. Terrific. Don't tell me shit. Alright? I don't need your help. I'm Mr. Terrific, motherfucker. Don't tell me nothing. Alright? I love his energy. And he's just so cool, man. And I was just like, man, it's like I lived long enough to see Mr. Terrific in a fucking film. This movie is just so fucking incredible. The whole cast is good. But I would even go as to say, like, beyond just the cast, the music and the fights in this movie is so good. Again, like, just even the way how they display the flying for Superman is so whimsical and magical. Like, the camera sometimes can't even barely keep up with Superman and characters when they're going extremely fast or moving fast. I love that. The music is so fucking good. Like, obviously they use a mixture of the Richard Donner classic fucking Superman theme, but they modernize it and make it something their own, but still reminding the audience of classic Superman. And it's like, fuck me, man. Oh my god, bros. Like, what are we doing here? We peaked. And just like some of the action scenes, bro. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, man, my boy Superman's getting his ass kicked. But it's so refreshing that, yeah, he gets his ass kicked, but halfway through the fight, he starts using his fucking brain and figures out ways to stop the villain. Oh my god, I was like, bro, no more of this fucking Superman that is like fucking a brute and not using his head at certain moments. It is so refreshing to watch a Superman just figure shit out and just come up with a strategy on how to stop a fight. I'm like, oh my goodness. And it makes also sense that sometimes he's getting his ass handed to him because, again, he's not a fighter. He's not a fighter, he's a firefighter. And I was like, fuck me, man. But when he does, when Superman gets to fucking shine, when he gets to cut loose, when he's like, oh, like, I don't have to hold back. It's time for me to cut loose. There are moments in the fight scenes I'm just like, fucking Superman, bro. I'm like, bro, what am I watching right now, bro? What am I watching? It's like straight out of a fucking, some of the moves he does is like straight out of the 90s cartoon, or like just how I interpret how Superman would fight. And I'm just like, man, this movie's a fucking banger, bro. Like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? But, you know, as much as I'm shilling for this movie and I love this movie, I do think there is one big negative that this movie has, which I do think is a positive for me, but I also see the negative of it, is that this movie's pacing is extremely fast. It's a really good movie and it explains so much and it's doing so much cool things. But my biggest issue with this movie is that because this movie is going at a breakneck speed and it's not holding your hands, it's not explaining much, you kind of just have to listen and pay attention to what the fuck is going on, and sometimes even imply certain things based off of comic book knowledge. My biggest issue is that it goes in a breakneck speed that certain characters don't get enough time to really get explored. Like Isabella Machad, like this is her fucking year. Like she was in The Last of Us as Dana, and now she's hot girl. So cool, but she's not really fleshed out. Like I thought, Green, Mr. Terrific is a standout, and I think then it's Guy Gardner, Green Lantern is cool, but like her, I was just kind of like, man, there's not much to you. I like your scream. It was cool to see Hot Girl, but I was kind of like, man, like I wish they did more with you. And I know she's gonna be in Peacemaker season 2, but you know, I just kind of was like, man, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? What the fuck? And that also goes for, you know, the rest of the Daily Planet. I love that this movie dives into the idea of journalism and the integrity of journalism. And I love that so much. And I love Jimmy Olsen. I love what they do with Jimmy. Jimmy's a fucking player, and I'm glad fucking James Gunn and me are on the same wavelength that he fucking knew Jimmy Olsen is a player. This motherfucker be bagging chicks left, right, and center. So it was so cool to finally, someone is finally thinking like me that knows Jimmy is an actual whore in the comics. So it was cool. But I just was kind of like scratching my head. I was like, man, I wish I would get to spend more time with Cat Grant and Perry White, all the rest of the rest of the Daily Planet crew, because you know Clark isn't in this movie all too much. This almost reminds me of the Batman, which I'm gonna make another comparison to the Batman in the next later on in the video, but. Man, like so much of this fucking film, I was just like, what the fuck? I was like, huh? I was like, wait a minute. I was like, he's only in there for like a good like 5 minutes. I'm like, okay, now we don't even get any Clark stuff, so we don't really get Daily Planet stuff unless we're with Lois. And I'm just like, they're so cool characters. I just wanted to explain more of them. So I think that's like what hurts the film a little bit. But you know, other than that, the rest of the film is so good. I did think Crypto was a little annoying, but as the film got more and more, I ended up loving Crypto, and near the end they explained something that kind of was like, oh, that explains why Crypto is like this. We'll get into it when we talk about spoilers, but overall, the rest of this film is fucking fantastic. Like, generally, easily one of my favorite movies of this year, and very much a tear-jerking experience. I love this movie so much. But without further ado, if you just care to hear the non-spoiler part of this video, you are happy to leave and get the fuck off the stuff. Now I'm going to go into spoilers, or if you use the timestamp, you'll probably skip already to the spoilers part. For my people who just want to know about the spoiler, who watched the movie already. Okay, so spoilers. Now we get to talk about the fun stuff. I gotta start this whole spoiler shit off with, I can't believe, and I'm really curious on how general audience is gonna feel about the change to the lore of Superman. I think it is so fascinating when we do comic book stuff, like these characters that are like the big three, Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man, when we change certain lores about them, because they're the most iconic, and you know, they've been around for so long and they're so like mainstream, everyone knows about them. So when they change something, it's always kind of interesting to see how people agree or disagree or like it or not. So the biggest change that they made with Superman's lore is that Lex Luthor goes into the Fortress of Solitude and steals a recording of Superman's like biological parents. And throughout the film, or the beginning part of the film, they only have like one piece of the message, and in the other half of the message, you don't know what it is. And so they finally crack the code and finally figure out what was that second part. And basically, it was revealed that uh, his parents, biological parents, wanted him to come to Earth and kind of like, and in some cases, conquer us and basically fucking have a harem and have multiple wives and multiple women and impregnate them. And that's like the big crux of the film, and it even like really destroys Clark slash Superman's morale and his way of life. Honestly, I really love that change. That is actually a nod to basically a few comic books. If I'm not mistaken, Birthright is, if I'm remembering my Superman comic book, Birthright kind of like hinted something like that. But also, I know an episode of Smallville, one of the greatest fucking comic book shows of all time. You can't touch Smallville. Touched upon like his parents, biological parents, were not this like scientifically like righteous people. They were kind of like a little bit have some shady motives along the way. And also for me, the reason why it didn't bother me, because it also was a great parallel to the Batman, where we find out in the Batman, the biggest twist is that the potential that Thomas Wayne potentially got somebody murdered to cover up that his mom was in Arkham Asylum in a mental institute. So I love that idea. I love that the idea of the hero who is always worshiping their parents come to find out that their biological parents or their parents are not this like saint that they believe, because it leads to a great moment halfway to the end of the film where Pa Kent talking to him about like how your parents are supposed to give you the tools and you're supposed to make mistakes and whatnot, but we're not supposed to tell you how to live your life. Like, you are, based off of your decisions, who you are. Like, you decide how and what type of man or woman you decide to be. And I couldn't be any more prouder of you, Clark, of the man you are. And I thought that was so beautiful. I started tearing up at that. But also, it's a good way of showing that Superman doesn't force to be good because his parents or even his upbringing by Ma and Pa Kent, it's really because he chooses to be good. That's what makes him so special. He chooses. He can easily go evil. It will be so simple for him to do whatever he wants and have a harem and be on some Conan the Barbarian and be like, crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women. Like what? Like, I found that so interesting and so cool of a change. And my theory is that I think Lex kind of manipulate and change the audio, even though in the movie they say it like 4 times. Like, no, this is actual audio. I do believe like James Gunn left a little bit of wiggle room to kind of like do whatever he wants later on and kind of be like, well, actually, no. And also, if I'm not mistaken, we're getting a Supergirl movie, so we can even go into further details in that film. So I actually am on board with that. I actually did not mind that, but I am curious on like fans like thoughts on that. Even if you didn't even like the movie, I would actually care. I'm curious on how people really gravitated towards that. Speaking of fucking Supergirl makes an appearance, and I gotta say, I love her fucking costume. I love the trench coat with the fucking her outfit under it. It was so cool. But instantly, as soon as she came up on screen, and her energy of being like this drunk party girl type of vibe that she's given, I was immediately like, oh my god, this is different than any other interpretation of Supergirl I've ever seen. And I know it's based off of Tom King, the GOAT, uh, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow storyline. But one thing that I actually remembered was when fucking James Gunn said that her story is that she's the last daughter of Krypton and that she witnessed the destruction of Krypton. So what like mental state would that do to her is actually interesting. And that's why I was like, oh, based off of her energy that she's giving, like I can't wait to explore this character. Also, I love that Crypto is her dog and that Crypto has no manners because this girl has no manners. So I think I'm really excited for what they're gonna do with Supergirl because again, that introductory was so good, and they could have just saved that as a after credit scene, but no, like this actually felt natural to the story. It was like, oh no, well, I came back into town. Hey, cuz like I'm here for my dog. Oh, by the way, bye, bitch. Like I love it. So I was like, okay, cool. Ultraman being a clone of Superman was very interesting. I thought it was gonna be like Earth 3 or Earth 2, if I'm not mistaken. And I was really kept saying, oh, this is gonna be, we're gonna find out there's another dimension of like other heroes. And James Gunn flipped the script on me and was like, no, that's actually a clone. And I should have known because I believe like a clone would have the same DNA, but like your like an alternate universe wouldn't have the same DNA. So I should have had known that when they was going into the Forces of Solitude, but it didn't fucking matter because that part was really fucking cool. I love how the clone actually looked a little bit like Henry Cavill. I'm just gonna say that right now. But out of that whole shit, I love that what this is possibly set up because we all know that clone is not dead. We all know this. I don't think you need to even really think about it. We all know this clone is not dead. He's gonna come back. And I'm curious if this clone is gonna be like Bizarro, because he didn't really talk and he was being controlled by Lex. So I'm very curious what we're gonna do. So I know that clone is gonna be back. I'm just curious how they're gonna introduce that clone. Also, I'm very curious on the future of the DCU because based off of this movie, they established that really, honestly, heroes don't get into foreign or even government situations, and Superman's the one that breaks the mold of that. So now, like, we got a tease of like Rick Flag Senior. He was also in Creature Commandos, which was a really good show. I really like it. So we got a taste of him in that, and we see him in live action here. Although his gray hair is missing, but whatever. So I'm very curious on the government and how they feel about now metahumans interfering in foreign policy. I think that could be very interesting. The Justice League cartoon, in particular the Unlimited series, touches upon that a lot. So I'm very curious. Also, I'm curious, what the fuck is Batman doing, all right, in this universe? Like, how is he keeping up with metahumans like this? But we'll see when we eventually get there. The rest of this movie is a fucking banger. I don't have much things to talk about in terms of spoiler. Some of the lines Clark has were just so awe-inspiring and made me like cry. Like the final line he gives to Lex about like him being human, and what makes him human is that he's just like all of us, is that he gets scared, he sometimes don't know what the fuck he's doing, and you know, despite all of that, he puts his best foot forward because that's what being human is all about. And even you, like Lex, have the capacity of doing great things. Like, oh man, I just started tearing up at that fucking point. There's multiple moments I was tearing up, but that was so great. And even like the line he gives to Lois about like when Lois says like, "Oh, you always believe in the good of people, and you always see the beauty in people." And he's like, "I guess that's what you would call us, like punk rockers. That's the beauty of punk rock or something like that." Paraphrasing what he's saying, but man, like that line is so fucking corny, but the way how David Cornsworth plays it off is so earnest, it's so beautiful. Love it. Multiple moments in this film. So overall, if I can finally say this, I'll say this about the film. As someone who's not even like the hugest like Superman fan, I'm more into like Spider-Man, The Flash, and maybe even like Batman. To see Superman betrayed with hope and optimism and sincerity like this is something I've dreamt for years. For years. And to see it be portrayed this way brings me with so much joy. For the longest time, for a very long time, I used to pray for times like this where DC heroes would stand tall next to Marvel. And for the first time in a long time, I walked out of a DC movie with genuine excitement and thrilled for what's to come of the DC film. And I can't wait to see what James Gunn has in store for us based off of what he's done here. Because if he can do this to Superman, I can only imagine what he's gonna do to Batman, what he's gonna do to Wonder Woman. I could just imagine how far we could go with this based off of what we have. Because what we have here is so beautiful. It gives me newfound hope in DC films. And I thank you, James Gunn, for what you've done. This is a banger. This is absolutely a banger movie. That's gonna do it for my video. Thank you for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, please comment, rate, subscribe. Let me know what was your favorite moment. Did you like Superman? What do you think needed to be improved? What is the future of the DCU? Comment below and let me know. And as always, more videos is on the way. It's your boy, Mr. Degenerate, signing out. Have a good one. And don't forget to look up.
Now at last, the masks had fallen away. The strings of the puppets had become visible, and the hands of the prime mover exposed. Most ironic of all was the last gift that Raziel had given me. More powerful than the sword that now held his soul, more acute even than the vision his sacrifice had accorded me. The first bitter taste of that terrible illusion.